Hey, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, happy Monday, happy Sunday, happy Tuesday, happy Friday, happy whatever.
Somebody sounds
Okay.
confused.
Well, when you have ADD, your mind is kind of all over the place.
Well,
Um,
that when you get old, you kind of
hey,
forget
can,
things too.
can you edit this out?
I just thought it was the fact that he took a hit like Billy Joe Saunders did.
Well, hey, anyway, so first of all, we want to thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Now That You Mentioned podcast with Roll J and Nair J. Of course, I'm Roll.
With who? Who was
Raul
that
I'm
last
J
person?
Jay.
and our J.
Oh, okay.
Of course, I'm Roll.
I'm Jay.
And I'm RJ. Not sure who RJ is, but
Well, it's first of all, it's because I spiked my topo with a little bit of
oh,
tequila.
I didn't know. I don't know if you know this, but you don't have to do that now. They sell them spiked now.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. I'm old school though. I just like to, put a little Jose Cuervo. Mm. But before we get into tonight's episode, guys, truly, we do want to say thank you again. Thanks for tuning in the last week, which was our first anniversary show. Was real fun. We got to spend time with a couple of our brothers and our fun guest, Stephanie. And so we want to thank you guys for tuning in that episode and for every week tuning in. We want to invite you to please hit the like and subscribe button so that you'll know that every time we drop another episode. Don't forget to leave us comments below about anything. We love hearing fan feedback. You can also certainly most tune in if you like audio format. Check us out on iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Podbean, and Spotify. Don't forget to visit our social media platforms on Facebook, Reddit, Instagram, Twitter, and we're still waiting for JJ to drop the TikTok. Now that you mention it, dance sequence. But I heard he's working with a choreographer, so hopefully that'll come out pretty soon.
Well, Paula Abdul called me up one day, and
Oh
she was
Lord.
like, Jay, if you really want to get these TikTok things down, my friend Britney Spears and I are working on some new dances for TikTok. If you want to come meet with us, I said, I really would like to do that. So what I did was I withdrew about a quarter of the podcast money, and I chartered a Learjet
Mm.
um, over to Los Angeles and stayed at the Beverly Wilshire Hotel.
Hey, RJ, who's
Huh.
drunk now? And lastly, don't forget to check out the nowthatyoumentionit.org website where you'll have links to all of these platforms, as well as the platform or the link to buy merch from this guy over here, and put more money in his pocket so he can turn around and put it into
Paula Abdul's
Dogecoin, Ethereum,
Hell no, dude, I'm
Bitcoin.
out on Dogecoin.
Oh, you're out on Dogecoin?
Hold on.
Yeah.
I wanted to say this earlier. Let me translate what Jay was saying earlier. So what Paula Abdul really called about was to say, "Hey Jay, your payment on the Cameo bounced."
I think that's
Well,
my
boys.
my next income stream is I'm going to start doing cameos.
You're gonna start selling cameos.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Hey man, what you should do is at your job, just give a card to your Cameo page for anybody that wants a shout out or something.
Yeah, I'm going to make a card and then I'm just going to put a QR code on the back of it. Done.
There you go.
Wow. So, what you been up to, boys?
Man, not much. Just I think I'm kind of in the same boat with a lot of other people, just kind of shaking my head in amazement at the stream of misinformation heading out there, and all the people that are heading to the gas station to go stock up on gas for a supposed gas shortage that I don't believe is happening, but that's just me.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
I think the air quotes under supposed kind of gave it away.
I I actually have been loading up on gas in those big three, or what are they? 300-gallon cubes.
300.
That's what I was telling you. I was
Holy
telling your dad. I saw a video on MSN of a guy doing that.
Yeah.
Just one in the back of his pickup truck, just getting down on gas, and I'm like, dude, I think your dad said it when we were backstage. He's like, they're all gonna feel like fools when here in a week when people start shipping more gas out, and
And now they're stuck with 300 gallons of overpriced gas.
yeah. Because unlike the lumber shortage that I know is also a fallacy.
Lumber shortage.
Yeah.
Shortage.
The world can't operate without gas and oil. So the government won't let us go into, because look, here's the thing people fail to realize is America has such a high reserve of gas and oil that shutting down one pipeline is not going to shut down the entire operation. I know that pipeline is supposedly under a cyber attack or cyber, whatever the deal is, but some people just need to get a grip, man. I think the pandemic really put a number over on us by making us think that, things don't exist anymore. Like, when people were stocking up on all this toilet paper and, these shortages. Look, don't get me wrong. The shortages are real. They're just short term because people panic. It's like it's panic buying.
Mm-hmm.
All these people are going to get gas because they hear, oh my God, there's going to be shortage. There's going to be no gas. There's going to be no gas. But little do they fail to realize that there's gas,
Well, sometimes I wonder if at some point someone's going to get smart, some attorney out there, and start filing like just crazy ass lawsuits, because it to me, in a lot of ways, this stuff is artificial manipulation of the supply and demand chain. Because first of all, you remember when everybody was touting Y2K and all the uncertainty behind it? Remember how even our dad went out and stockpiled on water? Remember, he was stockpiling water and toilet paper and canned food. And, I get it that
wind up flashlights.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Wind up radios. You remember all that?
I remember those. Yeah. Hey, those things came in handy whenever there was a power outage, though.
They did. They were awesome.
But the thing is, you spent all that money buying that stuff, and you pulled them out once every 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months at best.
Yeah.
Right. And I guarantee you, if we try to go find those wind up stereo radios now, where are they?
Yeah.
Do you still have one, Jay?
Hell no.
I still have one. It's it's put up, but man, I haven't pulled that thing out in like 15 years. I don't even know if the damn thing works anymore.
I have a NOAA weather radio that runs on D batteries, and that's about it for me. That's really the only, consumer electronic that I think that I have that's not plugged into a wall.
Right. Well, and again, so, bring that forward to where we are today. And, it's the news, it's the media, it's the knee-jerk reaction that really adds fuel to, to the panic, and everybody's in a rush to go, buy. And, to your point, when the COVID pandemic first hit and everybody just ran to the grocery store and was buying all they could buying all the Lysol, buying all the Clorox wipes, of course, toilet paper, and
sanitizer.
Oh gosh. Yeah, it's just amazing. And so, no, if someone's, I don't want to say dumb enough, but I guess
gullible enough. Yeah,
gullible enough to go out and buy 300 gallons of gasoline. I guess more power to you, but I don't know what they're charging gas prices over there, but super unleaded here in good old Dallas Fort Worth is about anywhere from $3.10 to $3.33 a gallon. So if you're buying, if that's very similar to the pricing out there, that guy spent over $1,000 in gas, which you'll be able to buy for $700 here in a couple of weeks, a week or so, if that long.
I was gonna say, I heard that there's gonna be a shortage on, now that you mention it, merch and Safe
Oh
Moon.
my God! Really? Is that what you
Yeah,
heard?
yeah. You guys should go buy all the Safe Moon and all the, now that you mention the merch that you can.
Well, the now that you mention it, merch is actually, you know, it's still stuck on the Evergreen over in the Suez Canal that they haven't allowed to, you know, move, holding the ship crew hostage and everything. But you know, you're right, man. I often think about that, bro. I'm like, where does it end? Is it going to take lawsuits to end these kind of manipulations? Because it's what it is. It's a manipulation. I mean, these companies know that once we get scared, I mean, the American public, unfortunately, and not just I guess the world in general, kind of showed its colors during the pandemic when there was a run on toilet paper, and you saw people just hoarding it. You know, you saw people that were fighting. I mean, there's videos out there, people just showing up to Walmart and buying not just packages, but buying whole cartons of it. You know,
What about the guy that bought, you know, tried to buy out all the masks and the hand sanitizer, and you know, and he got in trouble with the law. I mean, I may be reporting slightly exaggerated content, but it was something to that effect, where the guy got busted and he wound up having to give it all back or something to that.
No,
effect.
well, I think they made him donate it to churches or something
like that.
I know who you're talking about. It was some guy in
He
like
had like
Missouri, or
yeah,
like in Missouri, or
storage.
yeah.
That's the story I was referring to.
But when and
As
you
you
know,
can
there are
tell,
people
our
out there.
journalistic integrity here is very low.
Yeah, I mean, doing it to price gouge. That's what their intent is. Hey, let me buy this gas while it's, you know, $2.50 a gallon, and when it becomes $4 or $5 a gallon, and there's no gas in the city or whatever because everybody bought it all out, I'll sell it for $10 a gallon.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I don't know, man. It's just it's so frustrating. Now, luckily for me, I live in an area where I'm surrounded by like 8 gas stations around me, and there have been no long lines at the gas station anywhere where I live. Yes, the price has gone up significantly, but
well, not everybody can afford to live in those gated communities. So you know, you know, the rest.
You
of
mean
us
tell me you guys don't keep extra gas stored at home?
well, you know, my underground tanks are full right now, so
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I filled them up with hand sanitizer when we were going through that. So I don't know what to do with all that.
I mean, you could build an engine that runs off hand sanitizer, I guess.
Ethanol, alcohol.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Well, whatever it is, I heard reported on the news they're going to reopen a pipeline or ease some of the.
It's already open again. Like as of a few hours ago, that pipeline that they're talking about is now flowing again. So I don't know. I agree. I think it's one of those things where people hear, oh, there's going to be a shortage. And so what do? They go contribute to the reason that there's going to be a shortage, because people don't just go fill up their tank. They go, I can't tell you how many pictures I've seen on social media. They've got like 10 of the red cans, you know, and in the back of their pickup. And one lady, some of them are just being idiots about it too. One lady was filling up a container that you would put
a plastic storage container.
A plastic storage container. Yes.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Come on. What kind of storage system is that for gas? You're going to spill half of it on your drive home.
And not only that, I mean, you're putting yourself at you know, risk of I mean, just one little, and that's the thing, people don't understand, that it's not just the liquid gas, it's the fumes that if they don't suffocate her in her car while she's driving because she got the windows up, B, the fumes, all it's going to take is any little spark. And that thing is toast, brother. It is.
Yeah. Well, it's because it's not airtight. And so, You know, I mean, that's the other thing. You got to remember gas evaporates, right?
Yep.
Gas will slowly evaporate. So, you know, depending on, you know, how she's going to try and get the gas out of that container and into her car, you know, probably using a siphon. You know, some of it over the next few days is going to slow. I mean, just minute amount, but it's still going to be less than what she paid for.
Yeah.
Some point, whether it's through the spill, whether it's through the fumes evaporating, whatever, but whatever she paid for it, she's going to get less yield out of it.
It's ridiculous, man. The the idiocracy that we live in. I don't know if I know. Well, I don't know if you've seen the movie, Roland. I have. I know. RJ, you have.
I've seen it multiple times. Yeah.
I mean, it really does suck the fact that we're at that age.
Celebrate Terry Crews as president of the United States.
Hey, we're not that far off, man. The Rock is thinking about running for president. Shit.
He can't be any worse than Donald J. Trump.
Well, I mean, we look at the track record, and Donald J. Trump was not the first, you know, celebrity to sit as a president. People forget that Ronald Reagan was a TV star before he was a politician
and movie star.
And a movie star before he was a politician, and he was a very successful politician. You know, being a TV star, movie star doesn't necessarily make you not fit for office, but
yeah,
you know, when you look at this day and age, what does make a person fit? You know, when you look at the fact that we have politicians that are sitting there that have been there for 40 years, 50 years, sitting in the same position, you know, it's just,
well, the only thing
get stale.
The only thing I can comment about that, bro, is that's because the rest of us aren't willing to step up and get involved. And, you know, that's the honest truth. I mean, people are able to maintain power because sometimes it's just an absence of
nobody else to run.
Yeah, there's an absence of competition. And, you know, the politician that is constantly having to fight for their reelection, I think those are the ones that they wind up becoming too enthralled in always preparing for the next election. They're not actually getting their day-to-day job done.
Yeah.
Or they really do a great job of what they do. And so it just becomes that much easier for them to continue to be reelected. But there are far too many contests that are, you know, basically the power stakeholders, they're able to retain that power base because there's just not a viable challenger, right? No one to keep them honest. And unfortunately, that's just the way our system works, or dysfunctionally works, however you want to put it. You know, I read a few articles and it still concerns me that we have a number of Republican candidates that are, you know, still Trump hardcore, diehard supporters.
Yeah, I don't get that either, man. I would have figured that the Republican Party would have learned their lesson, but apparently they haven't. Because I've read some things through Bloomberg and some things through different media outlets where, you know, some people in the Republican Party are saying that the Republican Party is dead without Donald Trump. And I'm here to tell you, it's not, man. You guys can move on from Donald Trump, and I guarantee you we can survive. You just got to find another viable leader. There's got to be somebody else out there who can lead this thing.
Well, the problem is, and like I've said before, ideology was not Donald Trump's problem. His problem was his ego and his mouth.
Yeah.
And his unwillingness to really find common ground with everybody. It was more of, hey, I'm going to do things my way and you're going to like it. And if you don't like it, I'm going to figure out how to get you thrown out of here. right?
Well, the thing
And I'm going
that
to
got
insult
Donald
you
Trump
and I'm going to
elected,
belittle you, and
the
there's no
thing that
need.
got him elected, and the thing that rose him to power is the fact that Donald Trump was a businessman and he wasn't a politician, and his undoing was the fact that he was a businessman and not a politician. I think he needed to find that common ground of being both, and I think that's where Reagan was successful, because I think Reagan was. Reagan found that balance of being famous and being a celebrity and being, a businessman and being a politician. He was able to blend it all. And I think that's Donald Trump's problem. He went in with the mindset of, well, hey, I'm not a politician. I'm a businessman and I'm going to run America like a business. But there has to be a modicum of a political, ideology that you have to have in order to be successful being a politician. Let's just, the bottom line. You can have that mindset of running America like a business. I think that would work, but you have to be able to have some kind of leeway and some, like you said, some kind of common ground to say, hey, man, there has to be some compromises somewhere that you're going to have to make in order to find that balance between being a good leader.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what his problem was.
Well, I just can't wait for Costco to roll out their law program.
Costco's got a law program?
Y'all don't get that reference?
No.
Okay, then neither of you obviously have seen the same Idiocracy that I have.
Oh,
well, I've seen it. It's just been like 15 years.
Yeah, so one of the characters in the movie gets his law degree from Costco.
Wow. Well, for some reason, I don't remember that part. That's crazy. I don't know why I don't remember.
Remember the guy who I don't know if I want to use that term, but I don't know the actor's name, but he's the guy that ends up like escorting. What is it? Is that Luke Wilson?
Yeah, Luke Wilson.
Luke Wilson's character around, and then it turns out he's a lawyer and he represents him in court. He's a little like dumb, you know what I mean? Like slow. The character. Yeah. I don't know if y'all remember him.
I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch. It has been a while for me too.
All I remember is everything survives with electrolytes.
Yeah.
One of the greatest. We'll move past it. We'll get past the gas shortage, and I mean, America survived on the toilet paper shortage. We're surviving through the lumber shortage. We'll survive through the gas shortage.
But I'm going to tell you, one of the shortages we're not going to get past anytime soon is the housing supply.
Yeah.
And particularly because of your lumber shortage.
Yeah.
And cost of construction. That, right now, I think there's going to be a slowdown on new housing product, which is a shame because I think demand is still. I think the only thing that's going to temper demand for right now is what you and I were talking about, Jay, and that's this phenomenon of buyer's fatigue.
Yeah,
that's actually going on in the housing market. I mean, I think buyers are they're becoming overstressed, overwhelmed, and overpressured, right? And so there's just so much competition. I know here in our market, particularly, it's depending on where you are in Dallas, a listing hits the market and within hours, it's got multiple.
Oh, yeah.
And all of them are at asking or above.
Yeah, because, you guys know, and some of our listeners, followers will know that back at the tail end of last year, between August and maybe through July through December, we were looking for a house. And we got in just at the very beginning of the housing shortage, and we suffered through that, man. That we hit the buyer's fatigue really hard around December, and I told my wife, I said, well, you know what? Let's just calm down. Let's back off for a little bit. Let's let what happens. Eventually, there's going to be a lull in the market. It's taken a lot longer than I thought it would, but I read the same. I don't know if it's the same article, but I heard the same story you're talking about, bro. Where we're getting to that point now where there is buyer's fatigue because it took an emotional toll on us You know, we had our breakdown moments to say, man, this is ridiculous. How is it that we can, you know, make these offers that are 5, 10, 15, $20,000 over asking, and we don't even get a second look? It's like, oh, well, you know, sorry, man, we got an all cash offer that's, you know, $30,000 over asking. Like, I'm sorry, I don't have, you know, $300,000 in cash in my bank to go buy a house right now. If I did, you know,
And that's part of the problem, or the issue is that you're competing against people that are relocating to our market from outside of our market, and a lot of them are coming with cash because, particularly if they were in the West Coast and sold their house over there, I mean, they're probably walking with $400,000 or $500,000 coming into this market and saying, "Wow, you mean to tell me for, you know, at the time $300,000 I can buy a huge, you know, 2,500 square foot plus house on, you know, a 10,000 square foot plus lot."
I just sold my 2-bed, 1-bath
Bungalow that's
bungalow on
1,300 square feet for 1.1 million, right?
Yeah, and come over here and get me a nice, you know, 6,000 square foot house for under $400,000.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get it, and that's certainly one of the factors that have been really pushing the pricing, the house pricing here. In fact, I think I heard this morning that just in this, I think for this month, or maybe it's this quarter, house prices have been up as much as 10% in this market, which is, it's just incredible. So I get it. I mean, you know, it could be extremely frustrating, and particularly because one of the things that I remember you telling me when we were talking about it is, how can you buy anything sight unseen?
Yeah.
Right. But yet you're not even afforded an opportunity of an open house, because by the time, you know, if that house hits the market on a Thursday, they're probably already accepting an offer that afternoon, or at the very worst the next day. And, you know, so they have no need to have an open house. And so therefore you have no opportunity to really go look at the house. And I think even you shared with us and the viewers that my
keep going.
Yeah, that on some of the pictures that you saw online were somewhat deceptive, or were not a true representation of the actual house, because when you got there,
they were.
It wasn't what the picture portrayed.
Absolutely, it was, man. There, I mean, that was the thing, and that was one thing that I read about when we were real deep into it. That especially during the virtual market, when we were having to do, you know, virtual visits and things like that, was that listing agents were able to basically dress these houses virtually, even though the room the actual picture may have been of the room. They were able to actually, you know, virtually add in furniture and plants to make it. And the thing is, you can model that furniture to the picture size to make it look like it's bigger than it actually is. And then we get there and we look around like, man, why did this room look so big, huge in the picture? And I pull it up on my phone. I'm like, it's not the same thing. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, it's not a true representation of what the house is. And, you know, it's to the point now where I still, even though we're not looking with the same vigor that we were before, I still get all the house listings and stuff that come through my emails and through apps and stuff like that. And it seems like I'll open one up, it'll be on the market for less than 5 hours and it's already under contract. And it's like, how can you have gone on the market 5 hours ago and already be under contract? That means that somebody had to have bought that, you know, that like they walked in and go, you know what, perfect, buy it. Let's do it right now. Somebody's got free time to be driving around looking at houses, or they're buying the houses sight unseen. And I think that's the biggest part, is buying the house sight unseen. And I'm like, man, how can you do that? I just don't get it.
Well, I mean, that's what people are doing, because that's how competitive it is to get a house under contract right now.
Yeah.
And the sellers got their choice.
I know one thing that I've seen is there's been instances where instead of, kind of going through all that process, what they'll do is they'll have an open house and everybody shows up that day and they just give everyone a number and it's a lottery system.
Yeah, I read that. I read that too. That and I actually saw a video on TikTok about that. TikTok about that.
What's
Yeah,
TikTok?
TikTok about it.
Tic Tac
Where
were those little mints. Remember
there were people lined up to this house.
Took it in your
And
mouth.
the listing agent was going outside and just handing people numbers and like it's a
Yeah.
lottery. So if we call your number, you can actually get in to see the house. And it's like, Jesus Christ, how many people are there to see that one house, and how many
Yeah.
offers are they going to get on it?
It's absurd. Well, go ahead and share my screen real quick. Just
see
want to, yeah. You definitely want to go to that place that says Texas on it. They have plenty of lumber, plenty of gas. I would recommend going there, and that's where it is.
Yeah. That's funny.
Oh man, I thought you two would get a kick out of that.
Well, what's funny is there's some millennial that's going to see that and go, oh, that's where and they're going to end up in BF, Oklahoma and
Lord,
settle down. They're like,
I hope. I know you're just joking, but I hope that there's not
Bro,
that gullible.
I would not
Please,
put it past
please
anybody.
don't.
I mean,
No.
there are people alive in this world who can't tell you how many states the United States has.
I mean, unfortunately, he's right. Like I see these videos of just different, I guess, like street reporters. I don't, they're not with like any news, really. They're just, video YouTube reporters, and they'll go and ask these, basic history questions that you feel like everyone should know, and I'm just mind blown by the amount of people that don't know them.
Yeah.
But sometimes I want,
sometimes I wonder if it's scripted too, because I'm like, there's no way.
That's what I always worry about too, is because sometimes because you can really put anything out on the internet now, and I mean, because there's no filters, there's I don't know, the people have ways of manipulating things, and that's why I don't really get into any of these reality TV shows, because to me it's all scripted drama. Like, do you remember, Jay? I think we were talking one time about Storage Wars, and when Storage Wars first came out, and I was a huge fan. I loved watching it, but then after a while, some of the drama that they intentionally created, and then you hear Dave Hester sues them because he's accusing the producers of seeding or planting goodies in some of the storage storage lockers to kind of drum up viewership and stuff like that. And you start to wonder, and you really do think about it, like, how glamorous is it that or how many auctions did they actually have to film, and how much footage they have to actually take to really get good lockers, and instead of the I don't know, the 50 other ones that were just full of crap. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's sad to realize that some of those reality shows, wrestling is more is more real than some of those reality shows.
No kidding.
Because at least in wrestling, there's a hit every now and then.
At least wrestling was good.
Well, what an interesting segue, because you took us from economy into the sports world. So now that you've opened that door, let's talk a little bit about the Dallas Football Cowboys.
Well, before we do that, let's bow our head, silence. Let's take 5 seconds. Let's mourn the death of another Dallas Star season.
Oh,
a year ago we're playing for the Stanley Cup.
Mm-hmm.
And this year we can't even make the playoffs.
Hey, man.
I know a lot of it was injury related.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But Paul and let's lay one down for the Dallas Stars. Okay.
I'll pour one out.
Pull one out. Now let's talk about who is it? Roger Staubach again? What are we talking about?
Wow.
Damn.
No. Well, today the NFL released at least partial schedules for the teams, and our Dallas Football Cowboys will be opening up the season. First Thursday night game against Tampa Bay.
Oh, Lord.
Did they ever reattach Dak's cut off foot? Is that
First of all, damn.
Wow.
Look, here's the deal, man. I hope that the Tampa Bay airplane with the team on it leaves Tampa Bay and Tom Brady misses the flight and then decides to ultimately get on another flight.
No,
A chartered flight, just him and a pilot. And while they're flying,
I hope the Cowboys go over there and just whoop their ass straight up with Tom Brady on the field.
Hopefully Tom Brady falls out of the plane and breaks a leg or an arm or.
I just want to make a statement that to any FBI agents watching, I have no involvement in anything that Jay's saying right now.
The views expressed by one certain host.
Do not reflect the entirety of the podcast.
Look, if Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers were driving in the same car and it just happened to spontaneously combust, I wouldn't shed a tear. I wouldn't feel too bad.
Well, damn. Well, hey, you may not have to worry about Aaron Rodgers because he may not. Sounds like he may not be coming.
Maybe while they're both driving through Houston, an explosion happens.
How does Houston end up in this?
I don't know.
Well, because, dude, Houston's a horrible city. What do you want from me?
Wow. I don't. I do find it weird that we haven't really heard from that group. The one
I do too.
I kind of wonder, but because I think in a lot of ways, while I do truly believe that you have a strong disdain for Houston, Jay, I think some of this is you go a little bit over the top because I think you're trying to entice those guys to re-engage, and I wish they would because I mean.
I really do hate Houston that much.
Kind of sounds like reality TV, if you ask me.
So you remember Superman, the first Superman movie? Do you remember the plot of the first Superman movie, Christopher Reeve movie, bro?
Of course, I do.
Have you seen it, RJ?
Years ago, when I was a kid.
Okay, so the main plot is that Lex Luthor is planning to get these two bombs that are gonna
missiles.
Fly in different missiles in different areas, and one of them is going to.
Is this the one where he spins the world backwards?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah. But yes, Lex Luthor sends off two missiles, one to the East Coast and one to the West Coast, with the intention of basically forcing parts of the U.S. into the ocean.
Well, California specifically, just part of California. It's the part that has Los Angeles, from Los Angeles, all the way down to like San Diego. That's really the only part he's focusing on. That have that part fall off and have the middle part of California where he's buying up all this land to become the coast for it to become more valuable, right?
Right.
So if I had a missile and there was a fault line running right through Houston, I would shoot the missile and hit that fault line and see if Houston would fall off into the Gulf of Mexico.
Damn.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you, dude. I don't like Houston.
Wow.
I think at this point we've established that. Hate. I think we're beyond hate now.
Yeah,
You're like,
I think at this point we need to go get a therapist. We need to get
Yeah,
the
no
official
kidding.
therapist of the Now That You Mention It podcast.
I think we moved past
And get you a
hate.
It's
couple
like
of
it-
sessions in there.
it's like in the movie when you see the character kill an animal and they just keep on going well after the animal's dead. That's how I would describe your and Houston's relationship.
Dude, I would never harm a poor bunny rabbit. Houston, that's one thing. Bunny rabbits are sacred.
Whoa, wow.
No comment on that.
Anyway, so TB12, yeah, I if they win another Super Bowl, dude, look, have I told you guys my theory about Tom Brady?
That he's
a robot.
He's a robot or alien. He's got to be one of the two. There's no other way around it, dude. There's no way he's that good. It just isn't. I'm sorry. Even Michael Jordan wasn't that good. You know,
Well, here's what I gotta say.
yeah.
Steroids.
He is beatable. I mean, just ask Eli Manning. He did it twice.
Yeah, I'm
He
sure.
is
You know what?
beatable.
He's gonna look back on his long storied career and he's gonna go like, "How in the fuck did I lose to that mouth breather twice?"
Oh my gosh. Well, and he should have lost. He should have lost against Seattle too. I mean, they should have lost
Yeah.
that game to Seattle if it.
Yeah,
you know,
Pete Carroll screwed them over with that
he
play
sure
call.
did. I mean, you got Marshawn Lynch in the backfield.
I know, dude.
How do you not give Marshawn the ball? I mean, come on.
Because
But-
he was trying to get, he was trying to get cutesy with the play, and he was trying to,
And the other thing too is, I mean, you look at, go back to the Super Bowl against Atlanta. The Falcons should have won that
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
No
that was
kidding.
I mean, that
job.
I mean, you can give kudos to Tom Brady, but that was also Atlanta imploding.
Oh yeah,
If Atlanta scores another touchdown, they win that Super Bowl, and it's in the history books. But you know me, I hate the Patriots, and I hated Tom Brady too. And then he went to Tampa Bay, and he did it again. Now, the thing to keep in mind here, is that Tom Brady also needed a little luck. He needed some things to happen, but when he had to make the plays he made them. And so, much like in my career, Jay, I'm one of the probably the hugest Cowboy homers that you know.
yeah.
I hated Jerry Rice, but after he retired, I became a huge fan of Jerry Rice. It was because the uniform he was wearing was my mortal enemy in the 49ers, right?
Yeah.
I hated Joe Montana for the longest time. And then he went to Kansas City, right? And we found out he was a spare without Jerry Rice and the rest of the team. But
You're out of your cotton picking mind, dude. Don't talk about Joe Cole like that.
But at the end of the day, greatness is greatness, man. And no matter whether your theory of him being an alien or him being Superman in disguise or being a robot, whatever you want to call it.
I'm going with robot, dude. I think that's the more plausible explanation.
I think
He's
the
like-
NFL disguises his drug tests every season.
Ooh.
Another interesting theory.
Just
I think Paul Tagliabue has something to say about that.
Wow. Well, Paul Tagliabue.
Who the hell is that?
You mean Roger Goodell?
Yeah, that's what I said. Same guy.
Oh.
Mr.
Wait.
Goodell.
Same corporate suit, same corporate, same different haircut.
Well, but at the end of the day, here's what I feel. I mean, the Cowboys, we need to win that game. We need to prove to everybody that we're legit, that Dak Prescott is the quarterback, and that that we're giving our team in good hands.
Or we lose that game so that they don't have tape on us, and then we whoop that ass in the Super Bowl.
Well, here's the only problem with that mindset, because I grew up in the 70s watching Tom Landry's Cowboys. They won 2 Super Bowls. I grew up before you were born, RJ, in the 90s.
I would hope so. As my dad, I would hope you grew up before I was born.
Well, okay, there was a huge disconnect in my thought process there. But what I meant to say is that the Cowboys of the 90s, it didn't matter. We whooped your ass at the beginning of the season, and we whooped your ass at the end of the season too. And there just wasn't nothing you can do about it. And if you want to be the champ, that's what you got to do. That's what you have to do.
Hey, in the words of the immortal Ric Flair, to be the man,
that's right. You got to beat the man. And I hated Ric Flair too. But
hey,
hold on. But there's no denying the man was greatness. There's no denying the man was greatness.
15-time world champion Ric Flair. Put some respect on his name, son.
There was not nearly as much competition on that stage back then, man.
Put some respect on that name, dude.
The Rolex wearing,
jet Lear flying, girl stealing,
Lear jet flying. You mean? What the hell is a jet Lear?
That's what I said.
Okay.
Girl stealing, wheeling, dealing. The head of the 4 horsemen, baby. For life.
Anyways. Well, maybe next week we need to dive into the schedule and make our full predictions again, like we did last year. Because
you know what? I need to go back and dig up that episode.
No, please don't. Please.
To see how well we did.
I know what I picked. I think I said 12-4.
You didn't have Andy Dalton leading the Cowboys to greatness since last season.
Yeah, I think this year I'll have to pick. I'll have to give 2 records. A record if everything goes, according to plan in terms of the injury front, and then an injury record.
Wow. Oh, a Dak injury.
Wow. Well, Jay, you know what I'm surprised is that you haven't really wanted to talk about the Texas Rangers, and to be honest, man, they're not as bad.
They're not doing too bad.
They're not. No, they're not.
They're 500.
Yeah, nobody expected them to be 500 this late in the season. Chris Woodward has done a fantastic job, I think, as a skipper. We've got some really good young talent that we didn't know that we had. I think the casting off of Rougned Odor has kind of opened some doors for some other players. As much as I hated to see him go, letting go of Elvis Andrews was another move that's probably going to help this in the long run. And I think the biggest surprise has been the pitching. I don't think anybody expected our pitching to be anywhere near where it is now.
Maybe here's what we need to do. We need to take now that you mention it, podcast field trip and go
to the Gilf.
Go
to the Gilf.
Yeah, let's go, man.
What? That's what they call it, dude. What do you want from me?
Who calls it that?
On the ticket, that's what they call it, the Gilf, Globe Life Field.
Okay, the ticket says a lot of things that I don't know are suitable for our podcast.
Dude, I don't think a lot of people know what a Gilf is, so calm down.
Well, now they're gonna go research. Oh my god!
You know what, RJ? But the problem is, most people would not even give it 2-second thoughts. Except you're the one that had to call attention to it.
Yeah,
you're right. Fair enough. I just should have let it go. I wasn't expecting it.
Shock value.
I'm over here trying to, bring up facts for the Rangers stuff, and
yeah, let's go have a $10 beer and a $12 hot dog. What's up with it? I'm down. Hey, and we can look at the greatness of the fact that even if we go in the dead of summer in June or July or hell even August when it's 110 degrees outside,
the roof will still be open.
No, we'll be sitting in the air conditioned comfort of the new stadium. What they should have just put a dome over, the old stadium. But hey, whatever, I'll take it as long as I don't have to sit in the summer. And because you guys know, we've been to games during the summer, and even when it's a 7:00, 7:05 first pitch, man, and it's still 100 degrees outside, and you're sweating, and it's horrible. that we're not gonna have to go through that this year.
I'll never forget. There was one opening day I went to, and there was a dude a few sections over who had his shirt off. And mind you, this is a big dude, like big, and he's sweating with his shirt off. I just was like, oh my God. I mean, I feel you, man, but I don't know. I'm going to be taking my shirt off at Globe Life Field, or Globe Life Park, as it used to be called.
But hey, on the plus side, Mavericks have secured their place in the playoffs.
Yes.
Now
Second time in 3 seasons since
now they're just fighting to stay out of the tournament, the play-in tournament. They're in
sixth
seed right now.
What they need to be finding is someone to teach Luka how to control his temper and act like a grown-up, not like a spoiled brat. Yeah,
you're right about that, man. I mean, I think that he got way too used to being the man in over there in Europe, during those EuroLeague, and they gave him a lot of respect over there that he doesn't get that kind of respect here. And when you look at, he's got a point on a lot of his bitching to the officials. He does. The way he goes about doing it, though, bitching to the officials like that, it's not going to gain him any popularity with the officials. And they're going to continue to be a little bit harder on him. The more and more that he complains to them about calls.
Well, I mean, he still needs to mature a little bit in this.
No,
league.
God, hey, I'm not disagreeing with you. You're 100% right about that.
And it's easy to say that. To some degree, I do agree that Luka sometimes doesn't get the calls that he deserves, or he's not necessarily getting a fair shake. But I know for us, we love to point to Dirk.
Yeah. Dirk never got the fair shake.
No, but he
didn't complain about it.
But he didn't. Yeah, he wasn't a crybaby about it.
Well, and that, I think that just look. But here's the thing, man. You cannot compare Luka to Dirk, because Dirk was a once in a generation player.
He was the true unicorn, right? I know everybody likes to use that label on KP, but Dirk was the true unicorn. A guy who was loyal to the franchise, a guy who was a superstar, a guy who was a leader, but a guy who was extremely humble.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't find that same mix in very often.
And he was usually good for at least 70 games.
Yeah. He was durable, man. He was. KP
he's a 50-50 man. He's a Sean Lee of the Mavericks.
Oh, why your dad's head snap to attention like that when you say Sean Lee's name?
Man, I swear to God. The guy retired and you're still taking pot shots at him.
It wouldn't be a show without
Look, I will say this. I said this then, and I'll say it now.
Okay.
You go look at how many tackles that those fools had in 16 games, and Sean Lee did it in 8.
I'm not going to dispute that. You're right. But you can say that.
Oh, that reminds me. I owe an apology.
To who?
To Sean Lee and to some of the fans, because I mistakenly said he was drafted out of Notre Dame. He's from Penn State. After watching the podcast again over the weekend with my wife, I'm sitting there, she has it on in the background. I'm listening to it, and I hear myself say, out of Notre Dame. And I was like, wait a minute, he's not from Notre Dame. He's from Penn State. So apologies to Sean Lee. Apologize to Penn State. Sean Lee.
One of Jerry Sandusky's last classes, right?
Oh.
I was just saying, is that not a historical fact?
Ouch. You know what? One of these days, I'm going to figure out how to get in contact with Sean Lee, and I'm going to bring him on our show. I'm going to figure it out, and I'm going to bring him on this show, and you two are going to have to apologize to that man.
Hey, contact your cousin Alex, because I think he used to live around somewhere around Alex's mom or somewhere around where Alex and Julia used to live, or Julia lived. I don't know. I know he's seen Sean Lee out in the front yard before. Talk to Alex, man. He can probably
All
point
jokes
you to the right
aside,
house.
it's just jokes, man. Why you gotta get upset over it?
Same reason you get upset whenever I take pot shots at Luca.
Yeah, that's why Sean Lee got brought up, because I knew you were taking a shot at Luca. Don't think I didn't notice that. Oh, he's a crybaby.
Man, he is. You know what I'm going to say? Hey, next Mavericks game we're going to go to, I'm going to buy the three of us chupones, and we're going to wear them around we're going to wear them around our neck. And when Luca gets teed up again, I'm going to put it in my mouth.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy myself a fake arm cast, and I'm going to put a little picture of KP's face on it, right? Put a little KP jersey on it, and I'm just going to go as that's going to be the KP.
Wow.
Sounds like a bunch of Maverick haters in here.
No, hey, I love the Mavericks, dude. I do. I love the Mavericks. Now, Mark Cuban, I got something to say to you about. I think you're off the Dogecoin wagon. I haven't heard you mention it in a while. You were all about the Dogecoin.
He tweeted about it today.
Did he?
Yeah.
Because Dogecoin is way, way, way down, man. You know, I want – okay. We talked about this in our group chat. I'm telling y'all right now, Robinhood effed me over, man. They did. Because, you know, that's who I had my Doge through, was through Robinhood. And the reason why I had it through Robinhood, because Robinhood was one of the few platforms in which you could get it on. It's since moved into other platforms. It's actually trading on Gemini now. And if I ever do get back into it, that's what I'm going to go through, because Robinhood, you're dead to me.
Wow.
You know, I was just like a lot of people. I was kind of watching the whole Elon Musk going on Saturday Night Live thing to see what he was going to say, see how that was going to affect the price of the Doge. And, you know, right before his appearance on Saturday Night Live, I think it topped out at around 71 cents. And almost at that point, I said, man, I should let go, because I didn't feel good about his appearance on Saturday Night Live, but I didn't. I held on. And right around his appearance, the price had dropped to about 65 cents. And then the opening monologue happened.
Hold on. Let me stop you right here, and you finish telling your story. But so far, I've heard that the reason you didn't make the money you thought you were going to make is because you were greedy and were going to hold on for more money. Okay, so keep going. So keep going.
You're right. Hey, I got the GameStop syndrome. You know, I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it to hit again, go again. But right around the time of his monologue, like almost immediately after his monologue, the price just, and so I put in my sell order with Robinhood at around 62 cents. It had dropped 3 cents, you know, from the time that I said, okay, this is not going anywhere good. And I bailed out at 62 cents. By the time Robinhood processed my order, because they got so inundated with people trying to sell. It was like that scene in Trading Places, man, at the very end of the movie where sell. It was just a massive sell-off. The price had dropped down to about 52 cents by the time they processed my order, and by the end of the night had dropped below 40 cents before the night was over. And it was a bloodbath, man. Doge took a big hit, and it has not recovered yet. I think the highest is traded since his SNL appearance is about 51 cents.
Yeah,
I think
I
it's
think that's
trading
right.
around 40. It's about 45 cents right now is what it's trading at.
43, I think 43 cents.
43, 45. But man, Robin Hood, you killed me, man. You cost me some coin, dude. Cost me about 13 cents a pop.
But again, I'm going to point out, had you listened to your own intuition,
Yeah, no, you're right.
pulled out a
You're right.
72, then you.
They say, man, go with your gut. Always go with your gut. And my gut was telling me to sell, and I was like, no, let me write it out, because if he says something and the price goes up, then afterwards, and I'll look at it. But
So let me ask you this: had you sold at 71 cents, right,
Mhm.
right before that all happened, I would imagine you would have made a nice healthy profit at
Oh, yeah.
selling at 72 cents, right?
Yeah.
But instead, you wound up losing money, right?
Yeah. Well, I still made a profit, because when I bought in on Doge,
Well, I'm gonna share with you an old adage then
what's that?
that an investor partner of mine taught me is, don't ever be upset about making money. Maybe you didn't make as much money as you thought you were going to make, but you still made money. Because at the end of the day, you could have lost money, bro.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And so, I
So
get it.
what I'm
Yeah.
hearing is that you had diamond hands, but then they turned to paper hands.
No, I wouldn't say paper. I'd probably go with maybe rubies. I don't think we got down to paper. We went from titanium.
Well, the
Back
lesson
down to
learned
silver.
there is though, it's one of the things that going back to the very beginning of this particular episode is that, how market conditions are so strongly influenced by just a few sound bites, right? And
Yeah.
let's be honest, guys like Elon Musk and even Mark Cuban, them coming out and saying some of the comments they made influenced the valuation of those cryptocurrencies, right? And for anybody who is really trying to navigate that, I think one of the things you have to be is on top of social media to the nth degree, because
Especially with crypto, man.
well, not just crypto, but I mean, go back to Robinhood, go back to the
GameStop.
GameStop, that whole Reddit board
Debacle.
that kind of created the, maybe you could even say artificial valuation of the stock, is that, market influences right now are not necessarily tied to what historically investors looked at was return, right? They looked at performance. They looked at valuations of underlying assets and investments. And with this whole crypto craze, it's not the same.
Yeah.
Right. And so, and everybody tells you that a fool and his money are soon parted. Right. So, I mean, I think if anybody's going to be doing that kind of investing, always make sure you're only putting in what you can afford to lose.
Oh yeah, I'm with you
Because
100% on that.
tomorrow we could wake up tomorrow. It's as highly unlikely as it might be, but tomorrow we could wake up and Bitcoin might be worth $5,000 again per Bitcoin, right? And all these people that bought in when it was in the 40s, in the $40,000 range, they're going to be devastated, right? So, I mean, again, it's as highly unlikely as all that stuff is. It's still a very, very real possibility, no matter how small it is. And the same thing I think it happened with Dogecoin. I mean, obviously, the sentiment was, for whatever reason, Elon on Saturday Night Live had a negative influence on the Dogecoin, and like you said, it came tumbling down. Didn't you say it got down to 38 cents? What was it?
Yeah, it did.
It was trading sub 40. I remember.
I mean, hell, if you bought in, think about it. If you bought in like in the 60s, if you were thinking, well, Dogecoin's going to get to $1, I'm going to buy in at 62 cents per Dogecoin, and it bottomed out at 38 cents, and still has, like you said, Jay, still hasn't recovered. I mean, if you put 10 grand in, I mean, you're down not quite half, but
Yeah.
you're down several $1,000s.
Yeah, that's what, like those people that were buying GameStop when it was at,
400.
$350,
Yeah.
$400, thinking it was going to continue to rise, and now it's selling at $225 now.
And that's, unfortunately, that's part of the fallout of some of these, the instantaneous.
Well, it's the meme society,
platforms. Huh?
The meme society. It was all a meme,
Well,
That's
no.
what
What I'm talking about, bro, is, historically, you were trading stocks and or equities through a broker, right? You were trading through, so the buy and sell aspect of it was limited. So with the advent of all these apps, TD Ameritrade and Charles Schwab, and even going through your bank, because the banks now offer trading platforms, right? And so, everything is at your fingertips and everything is instantaneous. Is that if you're even if you're just sleeping, literally sleeping at night, and market conditions happen overseas that have a negative impact on your equities here, if you don't already have your sell orders in place, you might wake up the next morning and your money's down 25-30%.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only, I guess, scary thing about the velocity. I guess that's what I meant to say, the velocity that all these trading platforms have created.
You mean volatility?
No, volatility is
volatility.
Volatility is certainly a function. I'm just talking about velocity. I mean, in other words, the precipitous fall of Dogecoin from 71 cents to 38 cents in such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Right? Because I mean, it's literally everybody's scrambling now, and everybody's trying to get their sell order in, like Jay was trying to do before, because you don't know how far it's going to fall at that point. So everybody's trying to jump off the ship.
Well, it was Cuban, get on it, dude. Come on, man, get Doge back up. You're killing me, Cubes.
He's too busy with Mavrello.
Well, first of all, Jay, I thought you
haven't heard about Mavrello?
No, I know who he is. I just don't understand who was smoking what.
What?
What crack,
I missed it.
Crack pipe was being hit when that thing was thought up.
What did I missed? What were y'all talking about?
Mavrello. You don't know about the great Mavrello?
No.
The new owner of the Dallas Mavericks?
Mavrello Balovich. Here, why are you laughing? That's his name. Here, hold on. Let me share screen again so he can understand.
Okay.
Yeah, this is probably the worst bit the Mavs have come up with since Mavs Man.
This is worse. I don't know, man. Mavs Man was pretty up there.
No, but I mean, at least Mavs Man doesn't talk.
Yeah, I'll have to send you off air some clips of Mavrello, Dad.
Okay. Well, can you show me at least a screenshot of it?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. What the hell is wrong with him?
Dude, and I can't. Mark Cuban. Okay, Mark Cuban's been in a commercial with him. That's just so stupid.
Well, it was developed. I believe the concept was developed by Mark Cuban Experiments, which is his, I guess, social media or whatever company. But it's been an interesting bit to see on Twitter.
No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. It's been a bit. It hasn't been an interesting one.
Well, you might want to be careful of what you say about Mavrello. First of all, he was the owner of a Soviet rubber company during the Cold War. So Lord knows how many bodies he's put in the ocean.
All right, let's end this thing, man.
All right. Well, before we close it out, definitely want to get some new topics on the book for next week, so we're not talking about crypto again. But
I think we're talking about it so much though is because we're all kind of obsessed with it right now.
Well,
No,
and you're right.
and
We are
rightfully
because
so.
I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I can tell you that, you know, because RJ and I are at the office together, and you know, throughout the day, it's almost comical. One of us, hey, did you see what Ethereum's doing right now? Or Dogecoin, and we're both checking our phones, or you know, it is, and of course, another cryptocurrency, Jay, that you're in with us now too, SafeMoon, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you know, the SafeMoon token is it's an interesting DeFi token that we've, you know, all three of us have put a little money in, and you know, it's very still in its early stages, but I mean, I don't know about you guys. Well, I do know about you guys because we talk about it, but I mean, I've more than quadrupled my money in just the, you know, little over a month that I've owned my investment, right? And while it has definitely still has some volatility, it's not the same level as what, you know, these other cryptocurrencies that we're in have, because it you know, it's still relatively hard to buy. You know, I think soon here when they open up the SafeMoon platform, and you know, it'll open up the buyer's market on that. It'll be somewhat interesting, but all in all, but you're absolutely right. I think we are obsessed with it. I mean, I don't think a single one of us can admit that we're, you know, I bet you at least 15 times a day you're checking your phone just to see what's going on with all the cryptos.
It's taking over all my TikTok time, man. What the hell am I supposed to do now?
Well, hell, you still haven't worked on the TikTok for now that you mention it.
I know.
Yeah, didn't you say you were going to do a shirtless one with Mavrello? Oh, Lord. On that note,
dude, get some sun. Man, you're you're whiter than my boy.
On that note, we just want to thank you all for being locked in with the Now That You Mention It podcast. The three of us know that time is the most valuable asset that everyone has. So we appreciate you giving us just a piece of that time. We all really enjoy doing this, and whether it's only 5 people or hopefully one day 5 million, we appreciate y'all taking the time to listen to us make fools of ourselves. And if you don't mind, we'd like to ask for a few more seconds to give us some of your feedback. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Podbean. Okay, I don't want to hear it from you who bought the opening, okay? And it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and Podbean. Am I missing anything?
No, you're good.
Okay. Please follow, turn on notifications, and leave us a rating and review if you can. If you're dialed in visually via YouTube, please like, subscribe, click the bell to get notified so that when our newest content drops, you can be one of the first to watch it. Go find us on Instagram, Facebook, Reddit, TikTok, and Twitter by typing in the Now That You Mention It podcast and hitting the follow button.
Yes.
Are you done?
Spearmint.
Are you done or are you finished?
Neither.
And if you just want to make it easier on yourself, go check out the Now That You Mention It website at nowthatyoumentionit.org, where you can continue to find those links have been placed for you to click on. And also make sure to check out the merch shop, which I believe soon we will be having a Now That You Mention It and Mavrello collaboration coming out.
No, but I will start taking SafeMoon as payment.
and you better buy it before the shortage happens, because once the run on that merchandise happens, we can't guarantee when there's going to be new product in stock. So
yeah, once I sell all 3 hats that I have, I don't know what I'm going to do after that.
You can always DM me, and maybe we can negotiate a a few 100 million safe moon for one of my shirts.
Pancake swap, baby.
Yeah, pancake swap. But with that said, we just want to say enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of day it is. And with 1 week coming to a close and a new one beginning, we hope that it's another great chapter in your book of life. And last but certainly not least, thank you to Jesse P, because we couldn't do it without you.
Yes, sir.
Good night,
Talk
boys.
later, boys.